The hell are you listening to, Spikes?
Yeah.
What happened to What happened to Joey's show, Spikes?
There was a problem with our connectivity, so she had to do it on her speaker.
Oh, okay.
Also, we're expecting a guest this afternoon for the Express show, but she's running late, so it's all good. We just started with some updates on the 54 correspondence.
It's all good. Well, I've been suffering through a damn hurricane, so.
Yeah, I understand in Louisiana it's also crazy.
It's fucked up.
Part.
No, Spikes. It's not crazy. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. Up. It's fucked up. Yeah, that's it. It's fucked up. I wonder the elder. I wonder that old man got off, Spike. That old elder man. That old elder Rashawn DeLay. I wonder if he got his ass out of there. He living in New Orleans is fucked up. I was just there last week. I was just in New Orleans last week. What was that? Last Wednesday. Last Wednesday I was in New Orleans. Yeah, it was last Wednesday, right? Yeah. Last Wednesday I was down in New Orleans.
It's devastating. I've seen it's devastating, and I think over 1 million people do not have light right now. That is the power.
The power is out. I think you're right, Spike. I think it's even more than that. Because my power went out last night. I couldn't leave. I was supposed to leave out Sunday to go to Texas. I was headed back out to Fort Worth again, and the company shut us down because the roads were so packed going that way, and it was so bad that he called me and I said, Keith, can you leave out tonight? I ain't leaving out tonight. My power out. Get out of here. Keith, can you leave? Y'all ain't crazy as hell. Hotels, fucking, crazy. I'm not leaving no damn tonight. I said, and took my ass looking back at some movies. I said,
You can see the woman here. I don't think she has a home anymore. You can see all her property is in the water. I don't know if you see the image I'm sharing now.
Yeah, God dang.
I think she only managed to carry a few clothes in this bag that she has.
She got her bag. She's now a bag lady, Spikes.
Erykah Badu, she has turned into Erykah Badu, and this is Hurricane Ida.
Erykah Badu said, "Cause you gonna lose your stuff."
It's very sad. It's not even funny because
I couldn't live in New Orleans, Spikes. Every year is dangerous down there, huh?
Every year the Katrina, also with the Katrina that also devastated everyone. Now they're going back to where they were. If someone built up their life after the Katrina, now they have to build it up again now after this one,
Yeah, and that was what 16 years ago. It's but it almost get hit almost every year. It's floods, man. It's just too much stress for me. It's crazy. Don't get me wrong. New Orleans is a beautiful place. It's just not worth it not to live there. I'll visit, and it's beautiful and all that. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Got a lot of African history where they got rid of a lot of It's one of the few places where Africa. When you go to New Orleans, you are visiting Africa because they kept a lot of the African traditions were allowed to stay there. You got a lot of the voodoo. Go ahead, Spikes.
No, I'm saying I hope the brother you met sometimes back in New Orleans, the one you was saying was talking crazy. The young guy was telling you, could you give him a job or something? Or give him some money?
I don't know. He might have been too stupid to get out.
If you look at all I'm saying if you look at all the images and the devastation, let me just show us a little bit of Hurricane Ida.
It's devastated, Spike. It's devastated. All from home all the way back to New Orleans. Go ahead.
I was saying now, if someone had built up their life after Katrina and they were getting to stabilize, now that he's also from Square One
It's all
again.
fucked up again. It's all
You can see
destroyed.
this brother. You can see the brother here with his shorts. He's looking at his house and all his property. And
God damn.
yeah,
Damn.
I'm very sorry for the brother, but but I can also see this one is also going anti-clockwise. It's going anti-clockwise like this. It's moving. It's moving.
Of course,
it's
I told you, it's feminine energy. All the ones. That's how you know That's how you know United States is actually in the southern hemisphere, Spikes, and not the northern hemisphere. When the white people got control, they took all your African history, turned it upside down, and taught everybody lies.
Yeah, and the power lines you can see. Yeah. This woman is also looking at the power lines and are thinking, God, I don't think she should even be standing here because they might even get to weaker and knock her head.
Yeah,
just drop on her head.
A lot of people, you're exactly right, because a lot of people got killed by trees. Shit, trees fell on people. I wouldn't be by no damn tree.
But you know, they were saying the warning had been given.
That tree is leaning. That tree is leaning. Yeah, hey, dummy, how about you get away from it? We'll fall and kill you.
The other time, the government really went in and tried to help people, but I also understand that I think
they couldn't help anybody. It's too dangerous.
Yeah.
People own on their houses, the flooding and the wind. They couldn't go in. They had to wait until the next day. They had to wait till yesterday to try to go in and save people because it was too dangerous. You know, you don't want to leave. And sad enough, black people don't have the resource. They're too impoverished. They don't have cars. They can't just up and leave New Orleans. Like I said, a lot of them are just impoverished. New Orleans is a very impoverished city for black people. Very impoverished. So
I hope his Anisha relatives were aware. But there was what do you call it?
Her relatives live way up there in Lafayette. I'm sure they probably are. I mean, Lafayette's close enough to I'm sure they got some damage in Lafayette, but her family's all the way up in Lafayette, which is like 2 hours northwest of New Orleans. 2.5 hours northwest of New Orleans. So I don't think they got a lot of damage over there. Because it went through New Orleans and came back, started going back east. So it started going on.
Let me show a little bit of this.
Remember that monster storm crippled New Orleans and much of the entire Gulf Coast. And as NBC News Now anchor Joe Fryer shows us, a Louisiana landfall is about the only thing that two hurricanes have in common.
Hurricane Ida roared ashore on Sunday with 2 landfalls in Louisiana. The first happened at Port Fourchon, just west of where Hurricane Katrina made landfall in 2005. Ida brought the most severe storm surge to the Louisiana coast west of the Mississippi rather than east of the river like Katrina did. Ida's second landfall happened in Galliano, Louisiana. Comparing the size, Hurricane Ida was stronger than Hurricane Katrina. Ida made landfall as a powerful Category 4 major hurricane, packing 150-mile-an-hour winds. Katrina came ashore as a Category 3 hurricane with winds of 125 miles an hour. The flood threat from Hurricane Ida is expected to be...
Yeah, the Hurricane Ida really makes Katrina Hurricane Katrina looks like a baby when you compare the two. Katrina look like a baby. And I think maybe perhaps most of the people moved away after what happened with Katrina. Maybe some people did move away.
A whole bunch of people moved away, but a whole bunch of people moved away. A lot of people went to Houston. Because a lot of cities, I know a lot of people went to Houston, and a lot of people went to Atlanta. And then I remember the Atlanta people wanted the New Orleans people. I said, hey, get out of here, go back to New Orleans, you goofy people. And the people in Houston wanted their ass out, the blacks wanted them out. You know, even tribalism here in America, same. Even the black people in Houston, like, these New Orleans niggas, don't they go back to New Orleans? We want them out of Houston. Get out of here. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I bet some of the cousins of what do we call him? These rapper Lil Wayne might also have been washed away or drained.
Of course.
Drowned.
That's where their family's from.
That is where he's from. Yeah, that is where he's from. I think. Yeah. And also, I think most of his relatives are down there in New Orleans. And also, Charlamagne the God. Charlamagne the God was also from New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken.
No. He's from South Carolina.
Carolina. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's goofy. Raping asses from South Carolina.
This is what has been happening with that situation comparatively.
This weather is so
Worse as
bad out
well,
here.
perhaps as much as 20 inches of rain in some places. Katrina brought 5 to 10 inches of rain, with some pockets of 12 inches in some places. For NBC News Now, I'm Joe Fry.
And really, I do also hope that the people get assistance, because starting from scratch, you don't have supplies, you don't have really anything. You're just trying to get back onto your feet. It's really very, very difficult with that. As a nonetheless family, I hope that also people are from New Orleans. It's even difficult having a connectivity, I bet. Leave alone, the power and the connectivity. It's really.
All that went out, Spike. They don't got no internet. All the internet went down. All the cell phone towers went out. All that shit gone. All that shit went out.
And I think the government is broke. Do you see, Kid, the government being able to respond like they did when we did have a Katrina? I think the government is broke this time, or maybe they might not be able to do act in urgency or act very quick. The
government's been broke. Government's been broke. They always really wanted to get rid of New Orleans anyway. They don't like to rebuild New Orleans. They know it's always going. New Orleans sits under sea. It sits under seawater. Sea level. They really don't want to save it. They really want to get rid of it anyway. It was built by the French anyway. They really don't give a shit. They really wanted to go. If they really want New Orleans to be wiped away anyway. But they tired of spending money on it, rebuilding the shit. They're gonna keep getting wiped out. They'll keep getting wiped out. They really don't. And also, like I said, it's got that big African tradition that white people don't like. They always want to get rid of African tradition, and then wipe this shit out, get this African shit out of here with all this voodoo and all this other nigga shit that came from Africa. Get this shit out of here. All this shit came from Angola and all that shit. Get out of here. It's like a hatred. There's a hatred for New Orleans. That shit is crazy. It's a love-hate relationship that they got with New Orleans.
I'm saying also we did have a lot of plantations in New Orleans, right?
Of course. The South.
Yeah,
A bunch of plantations, a bunch of whipping, beating, and a bunch of mulattoes. Them white people making a bunch of mulattoes and shit. So it's got a weird. You go to New Orleans, it's not like it's a culture all its own. That's why it's a love-hate relationship with New Orleans, because it's got all these cultures blended together from Africa, Spain, and France. France, Africa, and a little bit of Spanish too. So it's got, and then later on Britain. But all these cultures all fused together. But that's a big African culture that they don't like. They don't like that shit. They don't like that. It maintained. New Orleans is one of the big cities, few cities that maintain the real African culture. Like, these goddamn this African shit. Right? So they love it, they hate, they love it, but they hate it, they hate it, they love it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a love-hate relationship.
And they have also kept their slang, not their slang, but their accent, like niche and
yeah, they kept that Creole. It's a very strange accent. It's a Creole because it's a mix of African tongue, French tongue. It's just an amalgamation of shit. What now?
What are you saying in New Orleans? That is why you find people saying "baby" after every other thing they tell you.
That's New Orleans. Hey, baby, what you doing, baby? Hey, baby, how you been, baby? All right, baby. We do what we gotta do, baby. Hey, baby. Because sometimes you can't understand. People don't like to have you repeat themselves. Like, you're like, I'm in New Orleans. I don't understand what the fuck they be saying. So I'm like, huh? Excuse me, say it again. People get mad when you ask them to repeat themselves. Like, hey, you don't hear me? I said, no, I don't understand what the hell you're saying, man.
But you can see the winds were as fast as 277 kilometers per hour. So this will take down your roof. It will take out blow out your roof, and even the electricity poles and everything else. So I do not know where they're
gonna be without electricity for at least a month. It's gonna take a month to get all that shit because they got trees and and damn debris everywhere. You got trees and debris. It's fucked up. So it's it's hot down there too, Spikes. It's gonna be hot and sticky, and you ain't got no power. Oh boy, you're gonna be funky as shit.
Yeah. No.
You can't go in the river. You can't go in the river because of the funny part. All the rivers overflow. Spikes, people out there. Man, you got gators and snakes out in the damn on the streets. You better watch out.
And the seawards.
A gator get your ass. Louisiana's full of fucking alligators.
I'm saying also the sewer system. I'm sure the sewer system is also damaged, and the what do you call the drainage in the sewer system. So it means that you may not even be able to get any clean water. You might not be able to get
yeah, exactly. Potable water, exactly.
Yeah,
you got doo-doo floating all around and shit. You walking in doo-doo and piss. And not just, I ain't worried about the doo-doo and piss. I'm worried about the gators out this bitch. You got alligators floating around out that motherfucker. And deadly snakes.
I thought they were using all the alligators to make their adverts for the baby products. You were saying sometimes back they were using the gators and then showing the baby on a product.
They were using fake black babies to catch gators. They would shit.
Oh yeah, I remember they were not using for the ads. They were using them to catch.
They were killing. They were feeding black children to the gators, right? Not the other way around. They were killing children. So wicked these motherfuckers are. They feeding black children to catch gators. This wicked as shit. This evil that just the evil nobody can fathom. Don't know how evil these motherfuckers are. But it's evil.
Yeah,
even somebody's baby to catch a gator, just evil. But yeah, so they got gators and deadly, it's called water moccasins and shit. Them poisonous snakes all floating around out there in New Orleans and all around southern Louisiana. Shit. Fuck that.
I hope the local government is able to step in fast, even as they wait for the federal government to also come in.
You gotta wait, man. Louisiana's one of the poorest states in the country. They're gonna be catch all them gators. It's gonna take a while. Black people, just be careful out there. Them gators snatch your ass up and eat your ass up. You better watch out for them fucking gators. Talking about the damn national government. I mean the federal.
Yeah, the federal government, I hope they step up and I really do help the people, even the local government, I really step up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Mitch. That's what I'm saying, Mitch, that New Orleans is below sea level. That's what I said. Oh, before you got here. I must have said before you got here. Yeah, New Orleans is below sea level. But it's a love-hate relationship. They love African culture. These crackers love African culture. They don't like that it's African still. They want to absorb it, but they hate it. It's like a love-hate relationship with New Orleans. New Orleans is like one of the few cities that still had a big African tradition. All that African survived. That's why it was so rare in America. That's why New Orleans, when you went to New Orleans, you had a little feeling of Africa. Because all those African traditions survived in New Orleans. You know, the singing and dancing when somebody died, that was African. Africans didn't, before they got the religion, Africans didn't get sad when nobody died. They knew there was no damn such thing as death. So in New Orleans, you had a party when somebody died. Do.
And I think the dancing, I think there's a time Sister Nish was sharing a video of, I think before she left coming Tanzania, people were dancing, they were having, I think, a barbecue.
That was up there in Lafayette.
Yeah.
Lafayette. Up there in Lafayette.
But now you can see the devastation. This is what has been happening. Let me share a little bit of this. You can see the roof being blown off.
It's devastating.
It's terrifying. I mean, we're in the bedroom and start leaking, and then we come out the bedroom and go into another room and start leaking in that room.
Another room, and then the goddamn wall came out, and the wall fell on me. I was like, goddamn Jesus, where you at, Jesus? Jesus, come save me. Come save me, white Jesus.
I don't know about the death toll. So far, I've seen saying there has been one dead. I'm not sure about the death toll. You can see there was also a boat that was carried upstream by this storm. I don't know. I hope it didn't have people inside it.
Don't you do it, Jesus. Don't you take to my whole damn house. The wall is gone, baby. Hold on. Let's get to the roof or we'll drown in this bitch.
This reminds me of something that did happen with Mozambique. There was also the cyclone Idaho in Mozambique, and it was devastating. I don't know about the magnitude of that particular one, but this was category 4.
I ain't got nothing left. House is gone. Car is gone.
I want that Elder Rashawn guy out. Like I said, he getting YouTube money for mispronunciating all that shit. He be just making up shit. And the people said what I say. Right, family. I'm done with my video. Come and say like 2 minutes of dumb shit and be gone. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
He got his YouTube money now. He got his ass out there. I got my YouTube check. I'm getting on this damn bus.
Maybe he moved to another different place like Texas. This is what is happening with Biden here.
I'm saying he got a hard way to the case. He took a road out of it before it came.
You bring it up a bit. When Biden comes up on a press conference, I always suspect that he might start babbling again, talking about there's one confirmed death, climbing up a tree with a mountain, then with the children, with all these incoherent speech that he goes on about. But he said there was one confirmed death. There might be one. He says he's sweating on his feet, and then the children are jumping, and then he says a dog is on the tree. Someone tells him, Joe, you're talking about the updates about Louisiana's storm. You're not talking about the trees and sweating on your feet. Someone has to remind him. Someone has to remind him what he's talking about. But I think what he had to say, there was one confirmed death.
And that number is likely to grow. And we've got 1 million people in Louisiana without power. And for a time, Ida caused the Mississippi River to literally change its direction. And some folks are still dealing with the storm surge and flash flooding.
Hurricane Ida packed a very powerful punch. For the most part, all of our levees performed extremely well, especially the federal levees. But at the end of the day, the storm surge, the rain, the wind, all had devastating impacts across southeast Louisiana. Virtually no one has electricity in this part of our state right now.
And really, like I said, it's really devastating. And I'm hoping the governor,
it is devastating. It's devastating.
And Sister Nishu saying exactly, we have African traditions in Louisiana. The only place here that does that, and maybe the next place is South Carolina. That
South Carolina, the coast. Yeah, the coastal parts with the Geechee and all that stuff at coastal South Carolina and New Orleans. But New Orleans is a big city, and that's New Orleans being a city. They hated that was all that African culture survived. It infused everything else. That's where you got the creation of jazz, just like a lot of the blues, a lot of music comes out of New Orleans. But it's a very unique. That's why it's such a love city. It's got that unique flavor. White people got a love-hate relationship with it. They say it again, Spike.
They envy the people that have stuck to their culture. They envy the people, but they also like them because they want to appropriate their culture. That is what. Yes.
Like envy, they still kept a lot of the tradition. When you go to New Orleans, everybody say, "Oh, New Orleans is cursed because they kept the voodoo. These niggas are practicing voodoo down here. Niggas, practicing your evil voodoo. So they kept a lot of the African cultures. And me even growing up as a kid, because my family comes out of New Orleans, come out of New Orleans to Houston, my father's side. You know, that's my Angola, because that's why it's called Little Angola on the south side of New Orleans over there, because they know those people came with slaves out of Angola. But it kept a lot of those traditions. And you know, even when I was a kid, I was always scared in New Orleans. Oh man, they practice that voodoo. I go no damn. Cause my father was talking about cousins making gumbo, and I wanted that gumbo. I got a voodoo spirit up in it.
Also, I think also on the movie, was it on the movie? I think on the movie with Martin Rollins and Eddie Murphy, the movie that is known as Life. I think they also had one of the plantations known as Angola. No, in prison. I think they had one. Where they were taken to prison, there was one of the places that was labeled Angola.
Yeah, the prison's called Angola. It's in it's in Angola, Louisiana. Yeah, it's called Angola. They knew the name. They called it that because they knew they got those slaves out of Angola. They knew those slaves. And then I checked my, you know, even though I know my family came there, I did my lineage. Of course, my lineage goes back to Angola, Congo region. Because there was really no Angola. It was all the Congo. Called Angola today, but you know, but it was the Congo. It was the Congo Kingdom.
Yeah, you and Queen Zinga might have come from the same ancestral lineage as the Queen Zinga.
That's why I'm aggressive, Spikes. That's why I be fighting these crackers, knocking them in the head, Spikes. That's my lineage. Fighting for black people.
Yeah, people, you say culture appropriation. That is what I said, Zero Mosquito, and no, I even I no doubt New Orleans, and I'm in the UK. Sorry, even I no doubt know about New Orleans, and I'm in the UK. Yeah, they are known to keep their culture and their customs, and that is really something that has been and you know
the
looks. I don't know how the Angolan people look like. I'm not sure how the Angolan people have
they look African. I don't never see nobody looks Angolan, looks Kenya, but those are countries made by crackers. I can't see nobody, especially like an African man. So I can't say somebody looks Angolan. Only people that look different when you start talking about the tall people of South Sudan. They look a little different, but they still bad people. But they look a little different. But as far as African people, you find us looking the same. I told you, I can see the same person in New Orleans. I was the same guy in Kenya. I was the same person in Ghana. I was the same person in South Africa. That same phenotype. Since we're the original, we have all phenotypes.
It's the E1 B1. It's an E1 B1 like with the band.
E1B1, exactly right. So that's what we are, E1B1. So they said, you know, my wife said, oh, the Bantu came from West Africa, then came all the way over to East Africa. That's a lie. That's a lie.
They also go ahead and talk about the Khoisan people, the Fansa people in Southern Africa.
That's a lie. But I tell you right here. Let me see.
Yeah, because
they tell that the Khoisan people are the oldest people. But common sense, I already know that's a lie, but common sense would tell you Khoisan are lighter than they're a lighter complexion African. You can't get a lighter complexion African and make a dark African, Spikes. You gotta have the dark first. The light comes out of the dark, Spikes. So you know what they're saying is a lie. They're only saying that because they're trying to get attachment to the land in Southern Africa. But oh yeah, these are mostly the Khoisan are so like they could have been almost like white people. All these other lies they tell you.
Yeah, some of them look like the Chinese. If you see like this lady, she's very he's light.
Yeah, but see, they don't even come. But their genetics, even though they got the same, but the Khoisan is a created African. It's not a original African. It's a created African. That's why the Khoisan have Neanderthal. It's not just people say, oh, the white people got Neanderthal. The Khoisan have Neanderthal too.
You can see they created
African. They created other Africans first before they created all these other goddamn people.
You can see
created. Oh, go ahead, Spikes.
This one looks like the Chinese. Yes, he looks like the Chinese. He's also lighter in a complexion. So I agree with you. You cannot come from a light complexion into a dark one. You have to come from a dark one
You gotta come from the dark to the light. Exactly. You can't go backwards in color. Can't get dark out of light. You gotta get the dark. You gotta get the dark goes to the light. So but that's the white man's always lying. This is what he does. He's a psychopath. Everything tells a goddamn lie.
What he tells is yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's about his power. Everything he does is to offset his power. Everything he does is about his power. So you're like, okay, explain to me then how the hell the dark skinned tall people come out of fucking Khoisan then? Well, they don't, because it's what they saying is a goddamn lie.
But nonetheless, a little bit moving a little bit further from that. I just want to talk about what has been happening in South Africa, and I think I had mentioned about this in South Africa. They are saying that there is a new strain of the virus, and people now also want to be very, very careful because it's being known as C12. It's a new variant in South Africa, which is worse. But we already know what this is. We talked about they will come up with another version in South Africa.
It's gonna be variant after variant, Spikes. We're not allowed to talk about it on here because that's part of the damn scam. We're not allowed to talk about variant after variant because that's part of it's gonna be variant after variant. You gonna look it up. They got the variants already listed on the CDC website somewhere. They're gonna lambda all the way down to next year. They'll keep changing. And it's not a new variant because they got no way to test for variants. They've already told you that the test kits don't work.
We'll not talk much on it. We'll not talk much on it, but we already know what is happening because they're saying that the South African people now should be, a little bit much more worried than they were, and these are instruments of fear. The instrument of fear is actually being used. They are calling it a doomsday. They're calling it a doomsday.
But the South African people now are carrying spike protein because they're the ones who got shit. Remember what that doctor told you? They're now creating spike protein.
And even to make it's like they are marketing it because they're saying it's twice as fast. It moves twice as fast than Delta, and it also they're calling it also the doomsday. It's like they are marketing a product. It's like a vehicle. It moves twice as fast. It's much more effective. It's all these and all that. And now people in South Africa don't know where to go. It's not funny. It's not funny. But I knew another strain was coming. I knew one strain was coming.
It's another line, and twice as fast. It's twice as fast as the first line, Spikes. It's twice as fast as the first line.
Yeah. So. You can bet this is another new one, and it has been identified by Dr. Eric Ding. This was 3 hours ago. That was.
How can they identify it when they know the test doesn't work? Identify it how? They don't how? By using what, Spikes? By using what? What they use to identify it?
I don't know what they are using, but you remember also
they use what they use a lie. That's what they use in a lie. What they use.
But I remember those saying these according to the research they actually showed it can have millions of strains. This is one of the most what can I call it potent. It's one of the most, it can really have many ways of mixing up and then we have in all sorts of strains. Today you can have a new strain, tomorrow the other day, then every other day you have a new strain. Because I can't remember how you were explaining.
That's the whole thing.
And that is what it is. Brother Kid, is there any truth in Bill Gates pulling all the vaccines off the market? I do not know. Maybe Kid can respond about this.
No, I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that whatsoever. I got breakfast.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. I think it's nonsensical. They got some kind of eggs in them.
But there was a lecturer who was really sharing. Was he a lecturer? There was someone who was presenting at a lecture hall. What is happening with this news? We shall be sharing that video on the website.
Go ahead. Let me put myself on mute. Hold on. Eggs up in here. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just saying that there is this lecturer who was presenting, this doctor who was presenting at a lecture hall. We shall be sharing that particular video on the network or website. They don't stop. Sister Nisha says no, and they don't stop with the bullshit. These are people have also not heard about it. They are busy telling people to get a boost. I don't think I doubt that. And after you have gotten this boost, like for example, for the South African, so what do you do then after you're told there's a doomsday variant, and then another variant, and then another boost, and then another one, and there is no end with this
You're
particular
told to
people.
go. You're told to go die. That's what you're told.
That is exactly what is happening. That is exactly what is happening. But nonetheless, I also want to move a little bit far from that, apart from South Africa. I know, I think Gasendi posted an article yesterday about that in the chat. I think I might have been a fake news. That is, I also do not know about that, so I would not really comment much on it. I have no information. I didn't even get to see that particular link. But moving away from that, I also want to take us into Ethiopia. The Ethiopian really are not even focused about these numbers or these variants or whatever other stories that are being told around on the continent. The Ethiopians right now are actually much more worried about the conflict that has been taking place in their own country, and these has been fighting in the Tigray region. And in the Tigray region, I have seen schools being affected the most. We have heard about the Taliban, and the Taliban, I also understand, in Afghanistan, the schools are also being shut down. But in Ethiopia, it's even a much more worse, because there is a humanitarian situation right there. The schools have been shut down. About 7,000 of them have actually been shut down, and they have been damaged because of the Tigray war that is going on. So the war in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region has forced more than 1.42 million students out of school and damaged more than 7,000 schools, according to the country's education ministry. And this is a little bit an assault on the educational system right there. If you do get to ask me, what you will see is that when there is the women, I think I might have to mute you. Saying the women are in this particular country, and the children are actually being the ones affected the most.
Go ahead, Spikes. What happened to you? You still there?
I am still here. There was a bit overheat right there,
Okay.
but I was just saying that good. Those schools are shut down. Are actually good. Those schools are shut. Sorry, good. Those schools are shut down. Are going there to learn rubbish. Going there to learn rubbish.
All African schools are teaching you rubbish, Spikes. All schools in the world are meant to teach us rubbish. American schools are meant to teach like people rubbish.
It's for manipulation. For the better part, it's for the manipulation of the people's minds. It's not really even about informing.
Of course, I'm not going to teach you how to critically think. If you knew how to critically think, you wouldn't have been South African running down there to get the shot. I'm not going to teach you how to critically think. I'm going to teach you what to think, how to regurgitate, how to remember and regurgitate the shit I want you to know. Exactly right, Spikes. It's nothing to do about teaching you. And they already did a study. They already did a study some years ago to how people are stupider today, Spikes, than they were 150 years ago. How can that be? That the educational system isn't so bad. That's globally. That people are stupider today than we were 150 years ago. That's a fact, Spike. We're dumber today. We're dumber today than our great grandparents were. You there, Spikes? You there, Spikes?
All we know right now, yeah, I can hear you. I'm saying all we know right now, you call it the Rothschild, the Rockefeller kind of system of education, where people are dumbed down. They are actually being dumbed down. Mr. X, you're saying peace to you too. I haven't seen Mr. X for a minute. I hope that you're doing well in New York.
I was worried about him. I thought I thought they gave his ass the jab, Spikes. New York.
I also don't know what's happening with the brother. And the last time I saw him was with Grandmaster Fundishi. I think after that, I haven't seen brother Mr. X.
I ain't seen him on. Yeah, I haven't seen him on the do those shows or nothing. I thought they got his ass. Oh man, they got Mr. X finally. No more activism. No more activism for his ass.
No more activism on the grassroots. You know, no more activism on the grassroots. So once you get the job, that's a dat nap, and no more activism on the grassroots.
Yep, no more activism.
I've also had Sister Michelle talking about the activism on the grassroots. I think Mr. X and Sister Michelle over the BOB Club are the ones that are doing the most activism on the grassroots. But yes, brother, I hope that you're doing well. You're saying yes, people have become dumber.
Yeah, became dumber. That's a fact. You can go look it up. How's it 120 years later and everybody on the planet is dumber? Because that was on purpose. How's everybody dumber, Spikes?
It might sound mean. But that is exactly the truth.
That's the truth. It sounds mean, Spikes, is the truth. That's the purpose. They created a system to dumb everybody down. When they had the Industrial Revolution, Spikes, they said, we don't need people to goddamn think. We need people to obey and work and do what they're told to do. So, the Rockefellers, also with the Rothschilds too, because Rothschild started in Germany first. Because for the Germans kept losing the wars to the French. You know, even though they both Germanic people. That time the French kept beating the Germans. You know, and the French are Germans too. I don't know why we call them French. They both German shit. They both German tribe. Franco is a German tribe. The Franks are Germans. But the French Germans kept beating the Germans. They kept losing. You know, Napoleon kept going in there, and the other French kept going there, and the Germans knew then. They said, we're technically more advanced than these fucking French Germans. How the fuck we keep losing? Because we got officers that think too much and trying to save people. Said just let people go die. Get out there and die for us. So people wouldn't die. People say, we ain't gonna win this. We're not. This is not logical. So they say, oh hell no, damn that shit. We don't want nobody to think logical. Fuck that.
I think
we need you to obey. Do what you're told to do.
What will happen in the next course of maybe 50 years or 100 years? We have seen people delegating the work of thinking to the machines. You know, you want to search on Google, you not want to think. So the brain will also sort of be freezed because people want to.
Well, what you got now is an awakening. I tell you got to awaken. The brain is starting. You can't forcibly keep people stupid. It's wicked and evil. You can't forcibly keep people stupid that you've been doing for 150 years. It's wicked. It's evil. So universal energy is always going to come in and change that. That's what happened now. That's why they're doing all this shit they doing now. I say no. Oh, like I said, go listen to what I played, Spikes, on
the weekend.
Not on the weekend, but on our social media page. Where the white guys said they knew too many people were waking up. We got to start killing people off now. This was an Ashkenazim himself. He said, hey, they know too many people starting to wake up and know what the hell's going on. And that's true. You're not going to be able to just keep people dumb because energy, especially black people. Black people are attached to the universe. We're rhythmic. We're rhythmic people. That's why you see we move with rhythm and shit. Right? We're rhythmic people. So as the universe changes in frequency, the dumbest black guys don't start waking up. You know, we look at black people and they're so trapped in ignorance, but that's gonna change. The dude sitting in Kenya don't know what the hell's going on. It's gonna get him when they start talking mathematical equations. The equation of 24 times 25, 8, 26 is 42. You're like, what? The hell are you talking about? What you just talking about eating a damn hot dog? Hell, you talking about mathematical equations? What the hell's going on? So
I do. Yeah.
Go ahead, Spike.
I'm saying I do hope people do not really freeze their brains and have the reliance on technology, because you remember when there was this what do you call these the World Economic Forum founder?
Yeah.
Was saying that in the next few years everything will be connected. Man will be connected to machines.
I told you that's a no-no. Exactly, because look, because they don't understand spirits. What I told you in the beginning, when you thought it was all you didn't understand nothing. I was teaching you, oh, I don't know about that. Sounds crazy. That sounds like sci-fi. They're trying to do what you can do normally, Spikes. They don't understand the spirit world, so they're trying to connect everything to the Internet of Things and enhance themselves through technology. African people can do that naturally, Spikes. These are your natural abilities when you start knowing who you are. That you've been told that are evil and demonic and all that other whack ass shit. But you can do these things naturally because that's part of your makeup. You are a spiritual individual, Spikes. You're not a human being. You're spirit. And black African people are spiritual. You're spirits. You knew that. But they took that away from you when they gave you Islam and Christianity and all these other they want to do it. They want to do it through you. But you're not gonna be able to go through the spirit world with technology, Spikes. You can't. You can't fool the spirit world with. You can't fool the spiritual world vibrating on a low frequency. I got all this technical shit now. That don't make no damn difference.
I agree with you. I agree with you. The technology will not even help them. And like we were saying earlier, the spirituality has been demonized. African spirituality has been demonized. But then they take it. They take African spirituality knowledge, and then they use it for their own benefit. But in the limelight,
that's what they do. That's what they use to control the world. African spirituality teach you what? As you think of, so are you. What you believe of yourself creates your reality. That's African spirituality. What you think you should be, what you believe, what you focus and vibrate on becomes your reality. That's what they're doing. That's why they create them TV sets and all this debaucherous culture. Have you all engaged in entertainment to keep you creating a fucked up reality for yourself. They studied all this. This African spirituality. The Africans can't. Oh, I'm in there doing the 10. Thou shalt not eat a potato on Sunday. What? Thou shalt not stub thy toe. All kind of idiotic shit that ain't got nothing to do with life. Thou shalt not. All these dumbass 10 commandments that don't mean shit. Thou shalt not sleep with thy wife. They wife's cousin or whatever the fuck that dumb shit says.
I don't know what it is, but at the same time, they will not remember about the laws of the universe. You'll tell them they will remember that particular one, which is a commandment of Moses.
Exactly. And that's how the world works. That's why they told you, and the laws of the universe told you they got to tell you what they do before they decide to do it. So they don't get the reverse effect of cause and effect. That's why they got those monuments up. That's why they movies they talked about killing your ass. And oh man, this is great entertainment. Look at this, Mike. This is awesome. Hey, my butt you done. Yeah, it's entertainment, stupid.
I'm saying, it's not their fault that people have actually decided not to get knowledge or to enlighten themselves. But nonetheless, I want to go into another different matter, which of course people like to call it discredit. But before I get that, Musili was saying 9 planets aspects are gonna be a genius. Now that is a mosquito hitting on my science teacher. He can't believe he can't believe I used to be a dummy. We all come from somewhere. Zero mosquito. Sister Nisa says yes, use your own hand to destroy yourself. Also, Sister Nisha says Kido was also crying in the dormitory when he realized that the whole
I was crying because I was the same place Joby was at. Joby, because when you only don't know when you listen to them and Jesus ain't real, you like all fucked up. You're like, well, who's God? You don't who's God? You're lost with not knowing who the hell is God. You're like, if this cracker ain't God, who the fuck is God? Who the fuck is God? Then this cracker ain't God. So you're scared and you're lost in confusion. You don't know your African traditions yet. I didn't know them. So I'm like, oh my God, this cracker ain't God. Who is there? You got? Do you ask yourself? If I was too young, man, I said, well, is there a God? Who the fuck is God? Where is God? What the hell is God? Is God real? I know this cracker ain't God. Go ahead, Spike.
Yeah, they all exist, but people have been duped into lie of religion. I want to touch on something briefly, which has to do with the sightings of the UFOs in Africa. Sometimes back, I was asking why we do not hear about UFO sightings in Africa, but I just wanted to highlight a few of them right here, even as we get to when up. The UFO sightings in Africa. This is a list of quote-unquote alleged sightings of unidentified flying objects or UFOs in Africa. The first and foremost one was spotted or reported in the Algerian War in 1954 and 1962.
Yeah, already knew that they were aliens, right? There were individuals, that they were families from space. Africa knew that. Go ahead. Now Africa like, oh, is there such thing as you live in an infinite universe? Yes, the other Africans, they won't come from Africans because they wouldn't be from other black people in space. Yes, they are.
Some of them maybe Nubian, but yes, Algeria. There was the Algerian War in 1954 to 1962. Many UFO sightings were reported around conflict zones. In March 1975, several UFOs observed across the country by respectable people, quote-unquote respectable people. In Morocco, that was in 1952, two elongated flying sovas were spotted by policemen during the nighttime about Harcourt. The following day at 11:45 p.m., inhabitants of Fedala spotted a blue-green ball-shaped object flying at a high speed.
I had to tell you, Spikes, there's a bunch of them here. They're just in another frequency that you can't see right now. They're flying all above our ass right now, and maybe a slightly higher frequency. Once the frequency changes, you're going to start seeing a whole bunch of ships around this bitch. God damn, motherfucker.
In Senegal as well in 1952, in Sudan as recent as 2018 in Sudan, in Tunisia, that was way back in 1969. Many observers, including U.S. Embassy officials, reported a full moon-sized two-part green flying object in the sky over Tunis, the capital city, and also in Zimbabwe in 1994 in Zimbabwe. 62 children, this is according to on September 1994, 62 children from a school in Rua witnessed the landing of a large spaceship and many smaller ones near their school. The children described the aliens who stepped out of the spaceships as having large heads and of course long black hair and are dressed in a dark single piece suits. In South Africa, they also say about the same, but there are many different reportings of the sightings of the UFOs in Africa. Personally, I have not seen any of these, but if it turns out, I will also let you know right here on the 54 Correspondence show.
And they learn those Spikes has to start running. These Spikes think these things are a joke. The U.S. government already told you these things are real. I mean, if they land, Spikes has to start running the other way, speaking Swahili, cussing.
What will happen is that people are actually shocked. First and foremost, it's a shock, and people who try to people, when you see something, you try to compare it with something else that you do know of. So it might also be difficult. Sometimes people are in a shock because you try to compare this with something else.
I think the government has stopped selling out of night vision goggles. Get night vision goggles, you see all that shit. Go out at night, get your night vision goggles. Go out to the country where it's not the city. The pollution level is less. So go out to get out the city, get you some night vision goggles, and look up in the sky. You'll see all that shit. It ain't no satellites. Ain't no satellites changing directions and all that shit. So people years ago, I had my night vision goggles out to go out there, and you'll see the motherfuckers flying, shoot. You would spot these the identified objects. Exactly, I would be happy when people get online and understand the universe. I also do hope so that very, very soon, the age of the Aquarius, people will wake up and get the enlightenment because it is just like they had the other dimensional goggles that looked the lower dimension. I'm gonna start seeing all them hellish ass damn demons. The U.S. government back in Vietnam. Oh my God, they were looking into a lower dimension.
I think what was said is that those people are losing their minds. The people that went into Vietnam, they were told they were the soldiers, the army. It was said that they were losing their minds. That is why they were seeing those.
They were losing their minds. Nobody said that. They knew what the hell those goggles. That's why they banned the goggles. They wouldn't losing when they had the goggles off. They said nothing about losing their minds. They knew they were looking to a lower dimension. That's why they had the red spectrum goggles. They knew what the fuck it was. Nobody said they were losing their mind. You took out the goggles, wasn't nobody seeing the shit no more. So wasn't nobody acting crazy. So when they were looking into a lower vibrational dimension, they seen how wicked and evil this shit. Oh my God!
Run and leave everyone else in the post and just scatter away. See, Jerome was saying it was the X-Files and Roswell that have brought to my attention the UFO. It was X-Files and Roswell that have brought my attention to the UFOs. Like I was saying, in Africa, the information really does not go around really fast. So you wouldn't know if one has been sighted in Zimbabwe or one has been sighted in South Africa. Sometimes it takes a while for people to also, put the information out. But I was saying, yes, if I was,
it's like put that up against. Let's put a go to
YouTube.
Now was on YouTube. We had to go just go to Google. Say Vietnam red spectrum goggles, red spectrum night goggles, or red spectrum military goggles. And that story should pop up. It was about nobody thought they were crazy. They knew when they got those goggles on, they were looking to a lower dimension. When you see, you think the things were still there around them when they took off the goggles, just they couldn't interact when they didn't see them because they were on a lower frequency.
This is a little bit of what was happening with that situation. Let me share this with as you also get to wind up, because we also do have another show. This is a see in another dimension using the red night vision gear.
Exactly.
The interesting use of the use of the original night vision goggles in the Vietnam War, reported of original red light photon transmission goggles, allowing the military personnel to view another dimension to see monsters. The talk of this starts at 46 and 30 minutes seconds into the video below, and goes for about 10 minutes. They have a video on YouTube only that is it on YouTube? I think it is also available on YouTube. But I think we shared a little bit of this. Let me see. This is from the 46 minutes and 30 seconds. They were seeing they were using those red night vision gear. And they could see things, and I do bet that
you were seeing things to a lower dimension, not seeing things. You were looking into a lower spectrum, lower dimension. So the vibratory rate was different. I try to explain to you spectrums of light. As a human, you only see a small spectrum of the light frequency, which is the infrared or a magnetic field. Outside the magnetic field, things exist, Spike. So what you call the spirit world would be in a higher magnetic field that you cannot see. It's there. Yeah. See, you think because you can't see shit around. There's shit right now sitting next to you, Spikes, that you can't see. This shit leaking all in your ear. This demon's talking to you, saying, "Motherfucker, we'll get you, Spikes, if you get to a lower dimension." You can't see him. They're there, sitting right next to you in the studio. Is Joby in the studio with you, Spikes?
Yeah, she's right here. You can see.
They sit right there. They sit right next to Joby. Say, I'm here, goddammit. That's how the universe works. And the African has been made ignorant, Spike. That's why I try to teach you all this stuff. This is African science that you don't know of, and you think this is how the universe works, Spikes. Sorry, I didn't make the universe. I'm just telling you how it really works.
It's energy frequency and the vibration, but those things are
exactly. So when this cracker is looking to a lower frequency, right, he's telling you what he's saying. I'm saying these fucking demons and shit.
This is what they had to say regarding the use of those night
close to it many times. So my father did 3 tours in the Vietnam War, and in his second tour, he was advanced enough in rank. And he was there, I think, 11 or 12 months. And when he was in country at that point, he's always been a field officer, and came up in the military through the Korean War in a battlefield commission. And so, the military likes guys like him, and they let him be in charge of a couple of different projects. One of the projects that he was in charge of at the time was these technology that they introduced into Vietnam that almost brought the war to a standstill.
All right.
And this technology is a night vision goggle, but it's not night vision as we have it now. Okay, because the night vision goggle was done in the red spectrum, and so when my father came back,
infrared.
No. I'll explain.
Ordinary red.
Oh, ordinary red. Okay, so instead of seeing, when you look at a night vision goggles now, you see green. Everything is translated into green for you. And human eye sees green, more color shades of green than any other color. It's part of our evolution, our need to find food.
So that's clever then.
Correct. But see, here's the thing. It started off as red. And so the night vision goggles were introduced to helicopter pilots and gunnery people in Vietnam. And I won't hesitate as to I won't guess as to which year it was that they introduced them, but my father was part of this initial experiment with the troops that he commanded. And it was a disaster because the image was presented in red pixels, not green. And because of the technology being used at that time, it created very interesting effects that they could not deal with. So you had some officers, this cadre, or this cohort of other officers that were all testing these new technologies for the military that had their troops always use these goggles. And those units became self-destructive. They went down in a horrid situation. My father was extremely practical, didn't want to see himself get destroyed in any way, wanted to return out. So as soon as he saw what was going on with these goggles, he had his people take them off. And he actually got praise from the military for the way that he dealt with all of this. But the effect was this. A gunner in a helicopter had no problem using these goggles. And only everything is showing up as a sort of a faint reddish image. And it was true night vision the way we have it now. And even a greater depth, because you could also flip it and get an extra layer that was sort of yellowish that would be heat signatures as well. And they don't have those combined anymore in these goggles. Anyway, the goggles that were presented to the gunners, and my father tells the story of the very first time they're out with them, and they're flying along and he's in the front of the helicopter with the pilot. And all of a sudden, in a very peaceful area, not anything going on at all, the gunner in his, on the starboard side of his helicopter starts firing wildly at their height, not at anything on the ground, but in an area that he was shooting at and basically causing other helicopters in their little flotilla to have to react. And my father goes on back to the gunner, basically demanding, "What the hell, dude? What are you shooting?
What are you doing?"
And the guy was just sweating profusely, and his eyes are just dilated beyond belief. And my dad thought he was dealing with another heroin addict, but this was before it had gotten really bad in Vietnam, and the kid was not exhibiting those kind of symptoms. He was reacting to what he had seen. And he's describing to my father that he was shooting at these basically flying demons that were flying alongside the helicopter. And
those are the demons that he was shooting at. Some of them looked like they had wings, but they were able to see them using these night vision, red night vision gear. And I agree with you. Okay, people are able to see into different dimensions. With that and see what is happening.
But Africans can do it without. Africans were able to do this without night vision goggles. These are the abilities Africans have. And then they came with these vaccinations, also as Fredo Mutwa told you, to destroy this, where you couldn't look in higher and lower dimensions. These are attributes that Africans had through their technology, through their spiritual systems. Africans can do this. You can't do it no more because you worship lies. But this is what Africans can do naturally. So the African knew there were other dimensions, and they were dimensional that were lower than us, that were fucked up, and how to stay away from them, and how to use them. a lot of voodoo through rituals, Africans could conjure up these low vibrational beings. I'm not saying it's good, but they knew how to do all this shit. These are part of African spiritual systems. Go ahead, Mike.
it was possible, and people do have to get back that particular knowledge. Sister Nishi was saying that is what they admitted to saying, and that is what they claim. And the team appeal has is a fact. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. And as General Muslim was saying, hello to Joby. Yes, we shall be back with Joby on the Express show. We do have a guest in the studio with us. We were running a little bit late. We did have a bit of a hit, but family, make sure to join us on the Express show right after these. Correspondence. Much love to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Also, make sure to join us later with the Africa Today.
I wish I could find some red spectrum goggles for Spike's ass.